Report: NBA not finding LeBron James for Jewish money post. Posted a photo of himself with a lyric from 21 Savage's ASMR, "We been getting the Jewish money, everything is kosher." Darren Rovell of the Action Network, surprised LeBron, who makes very few mistakes, put this out. Does quoting lyrics from a song absolve the person quoting from the responsibility behind the words? I'd argue no, especially with a following of 45 million. Darren Rovell, at Darren Rovell, LeBron, explaining he intended to be complimentary but understood it wasn't taken that way. And that will likely be the end of that. Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN, the league office has been in contact with LeBron James about his social media post referencing Jewish money, accepted his explanation that he made a mistake and the NBA will take no action, league source tells ESPN. Adrian Wojnarowski, at WISP, "I wouldn't want LeBron fined for this. He posted something offensive without realizing why, more thoughtfully considered his words then responded. That's the appropriate response as far as I'm concerned, and similar to the one when Phil Jackson used the word posse to describe LeBron's associates. But the NBA has repeatedly, of its players. So, it became a question how the league would handle this LeBron incident. Of course, LeBron is the NBA's biggest and most marketable star. The league wants this story to die as quickly as possible. Not punishing LeBron, given his apology, will help that. That selective enforcement is why the league shouldn't have entered this space for punishment. Even when it gets it right, it's unfair to the players previously fined. Think ever could have claimed he just made a mistake with his tweets that got him fined? Just a couple days ago, the Thunder were staking their claim as the Western Conference's second-best team. The Rockets haven't surrendered their case. Continuing to dig out of its dismal start to the season, Houston beat Oklahoma City, 113-109, in their Christmas showdown. Scored 41 points, the most in a Christmas game since scored 44 in 2010. That was the only time an active player matched Harden's 41 on Christmas. The Rockets have won 7 of 8, Harden averaging 38.5 points and 8.5 assists per game in that stretch. It's not too late for him to re-enter the MVP conversation. Harden hoisted 35 shots today, making just 15, including just 5 of 16 on three-pointers. But Houston needed him to assume a heavy load with sidelined. 16 points and 23 rebounds, including 10 offensive, cleaned up a lot of those misses. Newcomer also helped the Rockets, hitting a couple late three-pointers and defending. Westbrook, 21 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists and 4 steals, and 28 points, 14 rebounds and 3 steals, were very good. And it's not as if their supporting cast really let them down. The West is just that good, and Houston belongs firmly among the leading challengers to the Warriors. Boston, Brett Brown raised some eyebrows the other day when he said, "I think our starting five is the best starting five in the game." Tuesday, with the country watching as part of the NBA's holiday package, Coach Brown's Philadelphia 76ers and that starting five will be on display nationally when they face the Boston Celtics at TD Garden. The Celtics opened the season with a 105-87 victory over the Sixers in Boston. But that was well before Philly made a blockbuster deal allowing the Sixers to add Butler to and as a new Big Three. Saturday night, the Sixers pounded the Toronto Raptors 126-101 with Embiid scoring 27 points, their second straight win and third in the last 4 games. It raised their season record to 22-12. Now, Philly hits the road for 5 straight, playing in Boston before heading west. "All you have to do is look at what happens starting tonight," Brown said before Saturday night's win. "As a team, we have a gift exchange tomorrow and then we all fly the following day to play the Boston Celtics in the Boston Garden, and everybody gets our memories of playing them recently in the playoffs and the first game on opening night. Then you hit the road with the team and we're all together and then you jump into the road trip and you see who we're playing over there. They will visit Utah, Portland, the Los Angeles Clippers and Phoenix through the new year. A trip to the West is never fun for any Eastern Conference team." The Sixers see Boston first in the latest renewal of one of the NBA's top rivalries. The Celtics held a pair of team meetings following their third straight loss, the last 2 at home, Friday night. The Celtics then came out and, with Embiid back in the lineup, cruised past the Charlotte Hornets 109-103 Sunday night. The first meeting was after Friday night's game. The second was Saturday, Coach Brad Stevens saying, "A lot of those meetings start off like Festivus, then they end with like hugs, right? So it's just like any other family meeting." Stevens said he liked the way his players handled the meetings. "There's never a right or wrong time," he said. "Ultimately, If you're on a team with 15 people that have good intentions and are willing to share what they're thinking, what they're seeing, and what they're feeling, that's a pretty good place to start. Those are the moments in coaching that you can't explain. That's what it's all about, if it's well-intentioned and if it's not off the rails. And it was the furthest from that. And then came a cleansing win Sunday to improve the record to 19-13. Asked if his team was looser following the meetings, Stevens said, "I don't know. I said, the whole deal was really well-intentioned, and it was we'll look back on it as a great experience. Because it was a bunch of really high-performing players and they're just really being transparent, young human beings, and I think that's a pretty cool thing to be a part of. So, whether that affects how the ball goes in or not, how much looser you look on the bench, I don't know. But it was a good experience, and I think that's part of a team's journey." Morris, talking about the meetings and how important they might have been, said, "It was very important. I wish we would have had it not after the game so we wouldn't have to answer a whole bunch of questions about it. But it happens. For a team that's trying to accomplish something, as we are, I think it was very beneficial for us." Led the Bucks to a 109-95 win over the Knicks. He scored 30 points and grabbed 14 rebounds. He did an on-court interview explaining how badly he wanted to play on Christmas. Finally, he felt he'd done enough. Antetokounmpo answered his last question then walked away declaring, "I'm going to go see my family." Antetokounmpo and the Bucks could settle early into a relaxing holiday. Their victory over New York was. Milwaukee led by double digits the final 17 minutes. This was the Bucks, and they showed they belonged on the big stage. They didn't even need to get hot to cruise to the easy win. Milwaukee shot just 6 for 32 on three-pointers. It didn't matter because the Knicks are so lousy. They were given this game only because of their market size, not team quality. Rookie, 21 points, showed promise, and maybe the Knicks will eventually become worthy. But they're clearly not there yet. Houston, despite positive results from their first victory without guard, Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey acted with haste in patching the hole on his roster that could undermine advancement towards securing a playoff bid in the competitive Western Conference. The Rockets on Monday announced the free agent guard, recently released by the Phoenix Suns following a trade that sent Rivers westward from Washington. Rivers, in his 7th season, has averaged 9.3 points and 2.4 assists over 437 career games with New Orleans, the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Wizards. Rivers posted career-best marks in points, 15.1, assists, 4.0, rebounds, 2.4, and steals, 1.2, last season with the Clippers. With Paul expected to be sidelined between 2 to 4 weeks with a grade 2 left hamstring strain, the Rockets opted not to roll the dice by increasing the workload on guards and guard recently returned from a knee injury that cost him almost 2 full seasons, but in averaging 14.9 minutes over the previous 2 games. It became clear that Knight isn't ready for such heavy minutes. That led Morey and the Rockets to Rivers. "He can give us stuff, especially with Chris out, another ball handler, scorer," Rockets coach Mike D'Antoni said. "A guy that attacks, can play defense, he's a good NBA player. It makes us deeper and it keeps us from having Eric to play too many minutes and different guys. Another good body. A lot of positive stuff." Rivers will play on Tuesday when the Rockets, 17-15. Host the Oklahoma City Thunder, 21-11, at Toyota Center. Houston has produced the 4th best offensive rating, 112.1, in the league this month and improved to 7-4 in December with a 108-101 home victory over the San Antonio Spurs last Saturday, their first victory in 6 games this season with Paul sidelined. Rivers and Paul were teammates for 3 seasons in Los Angeles, and rumors abounded about their supposedly frosty relationship. They were central in an highlighted by talk of, between the Rockets and Clippers last season. Rivers was quick to dismiss those allegations prior to his first practice with the Rockets on Monday. "I had no problems with Chris," Rivers said. "Obviously if I had a problem with Chris I wouldn't be here. Chris has a huge input on this team as he should, he's a Hall of Fame point guard. Obviously, if that was that serious I wouldn't be here. That just goes to show you that it's not real. That'll be quickly put to bed." Rivers, for better or worse, right? Rivers said of his history against the Rockets. "If we ever play in LA, me and CP, Chris Paul, know all the tunnels. We'll be all right there. It's funny. This is a team I always admired and wanted to play for with, Mike, D'Antoni and the way they play, getting up and down. It's a very fitting place." Stability and success have been companions for the Thunder, winners of 9 of 13 with 2 of those 4 losses coming by just 2 points. In the second game of a back-to-back, the Thunder fell 114-112 to the Minnesota Timberwolves at home on Sunday. Still, third-seeded Oklahoma City possesses the best point differential, 6.4, and net rating, 6.1, of all teams in the West. Those margins have been built by the league's second-best defense, 102.0 rating, and by prowess on the glass. Oklahoma City ranks fourth in rebounding percentage, 52.0, and, especially concerning for the Rockets, first overall in offensive rebounding rate, 31.4. Houston is 29th in defensive rebounding percentage, 69.4, this season, ahead of only the Wizards. "That's the game," Harden said. "Obviously, we know how really good they are defensively, but rebounding will be decisive."